Testing. We all do it. Most of us don't question it. Even me for many, many years. You see, in school, every now and then they measure your aptitude at their subjects by having a standardized test be placed right in front of you, giving you a pencil and telling you to fill it out within 45 minutes. Or something like that. But anyway, it's become part of society. You see it, it's in movies, it's in books. You gotta prepare for the AP tests, you have to prepare for the park, or anything, MCAT, whatever you want to call it. You have to prepare for it. You have to prepare for the national tests, the state tests, the local tests, the assessments, the practice quizzes, the quizzes, the preparation quizzes. You just have to, you prepare for all of it. And most of us, again, don't even question it. And I almost never hear anyone ask, why? Why do we do this? Why must we be constantly put through these trials to measure our aptitude, to measure our supposed mastery of these skills that they teach us? Not the mastery of our curiosity, mind you. Not the mastery of our capacity for intellect, but our mastery of memorization. Not our mastery of connecting dots, but our mastery of memorizing them.
And often these tests are loosely thrown together, don't make much sense, and it's not questioned what is what, or is this test really going to measure how well a student knows a subject?
And as it turns out, there is a very long history with all that. In fact, the idea of mass standardized testing goes back to a president of Harvard by the name of James Bryant Conant. Now, I'll keep this short, but what you need to know is that Mr. Conant here thought that testing with these constant trials would be the ticket to perfecting society, because you could have a hierarchy structure of people who can test the best, who have the best memorization skills, who will sit at the top of the hierarchy and will reproduce with each other to make a perfect society, while the ones on the bottom will be so thoroughly humiliated, so thoroughly embarrassed that they will maybe even stop reproducing, or will at the very least form a underclass which will be so docile and bankrupt in every single way that they will never change society. That is the secret aim behind testing. And by the way, Conant was not alone in that. You had people like Alexander Inglis and Herbert I don't even remember his name. It was Goddard Herbert, or like Herbert H. Goddard. Yeah, okay. Or Herbert Goddard. They all wanted this. And that is the reasoning behind standardized testing. Every time they give you one of those tests, it's not so they can just, it sounds so nice in theory. It sounds so beautiful, where they're going to categorize you all for the betterment of yourselves. But in reality, it's not for yourself. It's not for your education. It's not for your learning. In fact, studies show that there is absolutely no link between more testing and more learning, or more education. There's absolutely no link. In fact, there's a negative correlation. The more you test, the worse off you'll be. And this, by the way, makes sense, checks out when you look at other countries. When you look at Finland, for instance, where they have very little testing, very, very little testing in Finland, but they have the best students in the world. When they are tested, the students perform best. So this checks out all over the world, as a matter of fact. Additionally, we've gotten to the point where they have to cobble together so many tests, an unbelievably large amount, that the tests are they make so little sense. Many of the questions are completely disingenuous and have an agenda behind them. And it's not even, the thing is that whenever you get one of those multiple choice quizzes, which is most of the standardized tests are just multiple choice quizzes, when you get one of those, the thing is, I know it sounds cliche, but one, if not two out of the four possible answers are always so unbelievably stupid that if you have any reasoning and common sense, you can rule them out almost immediately. And this goes for math, history, science, anything. It's the possible answers are so unbelievably stupid, so impossible, so unfathomable and feasible that you can rule them out right then and there. You can just cross them off.
Hey JB, how far away is the sun from Earth? A, 0 meters.
Wow, that'd be pretty toasty, wouldn't it?
That would be a bit toasty.
A little bit. Yeah. So that's the agenda behind testing. Is just for a mass system of some mass hierarchy built off testing. Now, I am for a hierarchy, but I'm not for that kind of hierarchy, where it's all decided by testing. I want it to be merit. But anyway, and then you have just the countless hours and hours and hours of stress and tears and depression and tests probably cause a decent amount of suicide every single year because they're so overwhelming. Many of them you have to study for these these massive tests, these AP exams, or these the high school tests, all of that, and it'll be with you for the rest of your life. So you have to study what off, and it creates mass stress, mass discomfort. It's terrible.
And in less serious cases, you pull all-nighters, you eat junk food.
Yeah, you're eating Lay's while studying.
You're eating snacks just to keep you going, so you can study for more hours.
It's not healthy, not one bit. And then if you do it wrong, you're grounded. You're punished. So it's a horrible atmosphere, and I think everyone who has gone to a public school has seen that firsthand, the horrible atmosphere. Additionally, many colleges have stopped seriously considering tests. As John Taylor Gatto said, if any college were to seriously consider testing as its main thing, they would be playing Russian roulette with their futures, because tests measure very, very little. Tests don't tell you anything about who the person is. Tests don't give you any honest information about that person. All they give you is their ability to memorize stuff. Not connect them, but memorize them.
Well, crap, I forgot just one detail of an 30-minute long history video they showed us in class. Well, that's the end of it.
You're not going to Harvard anymore. Many universities officially no longer consider testing. They don't even consider it as a prerequisite. Now, admittedly, oftentimes that is for different reasons than what we're talking about here. It's for other reasons, and reasons matter, but the result is the same. The result is that many colleges have realized or have chosen to not take testing into account. And according to John Taylor Gatto, who's one of my sources on this, Harvard, Princeton, they practically dismiss tests. They look for many other things. One of the things with Harvard is you can't get in there with good grades. And if you want to go to Harvard, you have to be some great genius, basically, with creativity. Not testing, not memorizing dots, but actually connecting them. If you want to go to Harvard, you have to be doing extracurricular activities. If you want to go to Harvard, you have to have fresh ideas. You cannot just have a 4.0 GPA. You cannot just have taken 10 AP classes. That's not how it works if you want to go to Harvard or Princeton or Yale or any of these other universities. Because they know they're smart people, and whether they're very good people or not is disputable, but they're smart. They know that tests mean almost nothing in most cases. So I would encourage any parents who still somehow take testing super seriously to not take it so seriously. To, instead of doing this sort of outcome-based education where you're teaching to the test, instead encourage curiosity. Instead of doing mastery learning, where supposedly the kid's gonna master where the kid's gonna master a concept through studying it over and over and over and memorizing all the stuff and studying all the stuff. They'll do mastery learning is a disaster, as is Common Core, as is outcome-based education, school to work. It's all a massive testing scheme to really control you, to tacitly control you. I know that sounds crazy, but I think the documents and the facts are on my side here. That the testing is not for you, it's not for your family, it's not for your country, it's not for your future. It's for the state, it's for massive corporations, it's for the people the continuation of the Rockefellers and the Carnegies. It's definitely not for you. And again, I just want to emphasize all the tears and sweat that go into this, that all the stress, all the, kids hating their parents, parents hating their kids, all the hours wasted. I think it's something like 25 hours you spend per year on standardized testing. That's not including local tests. That's not including practice assessments, quizzes, all that jazz.
If you're a parent, don't punish your kid for not doing well on a test. You're just adding to stress and anxiety and just the overall awful feeling of getting like a D or an E on a test.
It doesn't help, and obviously
Just don't.
a D or an E means almost nothing. And in fact, it actually means in many cases that you can think outside of the box and that you're not willing to submit yourself to this insanity.
Also, a lot of answers on tests are wrong.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we have to wrap it up here. You know, we're about there, about that time. So if you have any questions, you can email me, jvsocial@gmail.com. I would really appreciate a like and subscribe. That'd be super, super nice. If you could follow us on Twitter, Instagram down below. You can, social media is pretty cool. Don't really do much on it. I kind of hate it, but you gotta do it, I guess. And I guess that's been it. So, until next time, I have been your host, JV.
And I've been producer Brooke.
We are signing.